Okay, great. Good morning. We're live. Hi. So I'm coming to you right now from the Dominican Film Commission, and just want to give you a little quick glimpse of the door because it's cool. DG CINE, it's called. Look at that lovely, elegant door and the chandelier in there. And then out here, uh, it's not a patio area, but look how lovely it is. It's just elegant and beautiful. And so this is one of the things I like about doing business in another place, because you get to see how beautifully simple some things are. There's elegance, but there's also simplicity. Yeah? Okay. And so I wanted to take you on a little walking tour. The party that I'm waiting for is a little late. She's running late. The person who's in charge of, I think, some of the international productions. So, okay, these glasses are not letting me see. They're so polarized. So anyway, this is a neighborhood in Santo Domingo. And I did a video a couple days ago about believing and moving forward on what you think about yourself, about your vision, and holding fast to that. And so I am literally walking evidence of this right now. I am here to develop, hi Tyrone, I'm here to develop some relationships and essentially become a liaison in this country for the entertainment community. Right now I'm focusing on film and television because that's where most of my expertise is. I taught a class yesterday at one of the universities here on music law, so that was kind of fun. Haven't done a lot of music stuff since, well, I taught another seminar in Cuba last summer, but in terms of actual clients, I haven't. Most of my clients right now are in TV and film. So, yeah, so let's just walk and see a little bit. So what I'm trying to say is that number one, this is Santo Domingo. This is a neighborhood in Santo Domingo. Santo Domingo is a huge, bustling city with lots and lots of traffic. It's got about 3 million people spread out in lots of different neighborhoods. Some of them are very elegant, and you'll see some lovely high-rises like, let me show you, I'm walking past this place. So there's all this kind of stuff. These are garages that you can see in here. Cars are parked. I don't know if you can see, but this says electric fence. So if you try to climb over, they will zap you. See that? Where's that? The yellow sign. I don't see it on here. Anyway, there's a sign right above me. It says electric fence. So they're not really having that. It's a big bustling city. It's dirty in the sense that lots of big urban areas are dirty. I don't love Santo Domingo because of all of that. You know, I'm coming from my little beach town, which is so tranquil and relaxed. And when people here say, "Oh, where do you live?" I tell them Los Angeles, they're like, "Oh my gosh, what a dream!" And you know, you don't want to move to the city because it's just so stressful. But here's like apartment building looks like in Santo Domingo. Pretty nice one. This is new, modern looking. And so the neighborhood where I'm staying, hola, the neighborhood where I'm staying, Zona Colonial, yes, of course I've been there, I'll tell you about that in a minute, but where I'm staying is called Piantini. It's one of the really nice neighborhoods. And I was told by a driver, when I did a tour of the Colonial Zone last time, that to rent there is, you can figure maybe $1,000, $1,500 a month for a 2 or 3 bedroom apartment. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot to some of us who come from these expensive places, but for here, that's a lot of money. And so by the way, there's noise in the background. There's a school over there. That's like an outdoor gym. There's some kids over there playing basketball or something. So yeah, so 1,500 is not that much. This building I just walked past is a nice modern one. As you can see, there's lots of signs here for sale, vende, alquila, is rent. So there's obviously some vacancies in there. No idea what it looks like on the inside, but it looks nice on the outside. And this looks like a nice neighborhood. But look, there's just sort of a lot of busyness. Just in general, I would not call this a busy street, but there's just plenty of traffic all the time. And so coming from my little town to this is a big change. You know, let me get across the street. And so my question is, do I want to come here and maybe have more access to this? And offer my son an amazing education. We visited a school the other day, which is my choice for him. Okay, so I think someone has a bird up there in a cage. Here's this apartment. Not as nice, in my opinion, not as fancy or modern, but also very typically Dominican. Even though they're way up high, a lot of these have bars on the patios. I don't really know why. That's just what they do. So again, my choice is move to the city, like double my rent, deal with all the traffic, you know, all of that nonsense. There's definitely like fast food crap here. My son likes to come to Santo Domingo because he can get Wendy's burgers, which I find silly and funny and ridiculous, but he's 9, so, you know. So, you know, come here and jump back to this kind of, you know, environment, or stay where I am and love it. You know, really the driving force for me to even consider coming here is the school. Okay, I'm going to turn back around because there's just more of the same that way, and I don't want to go too far away from my appointment. But yeah, I like living in the beach town, and he's at a good school there. You know, maybe in a couple of years, like if he does one more year there and things are just jumping off so hard, it doesn't matter to me about the traffic here, I suppose. And it costs me like $1.50, $2 to get across town, basically. I love it. It's easy, it's cheap, and so I feel like, do I even want to be bothered driving? Let me just call Uber. But, you know, you still got to sit in the traffic and deal with all that. When we get across the street, they're not really pedestrian friendly here. They kind of intimidate you and act like they're going to run you down. So, ¿por qué no? Ah, okay, eso. Okay, so this man here is telling me that I should not be walking around holding my... Gracias. I shouldn't be walking around holding my phone like this, videoing, because ladrones, meaning thieves, will run by and steal it. They better not steal my phone. I'm going to show them the good old American beatdown. So, does Las Arenas have great schools? They have primarily Dominican schools. I'm going to just post up right here for a second by this nice little apartment building. So they have primarily Dominican schools. There's a couple of private schools. One is called the Las Arenas International School. It's not, yeah, I saw that online. That's what he was saying. Someone will run by and snatch my phone. Fortunately, as you can see, it's not that much street activity here, pedestrian activity. So that's why I'm just sitting still here, right? I feel like I'm okay for the moment, but thank you guys. So there's a couple of, you know, what you consider private, like international schools in Las Arenas. My son is at one of them, and you know, it's okay. It actually is better than okay. It's a good school. When you take your family international, you have to realize, okay, even women can steal, so I'm gonna hold on tight right here. I don't have to beat this lady down. But not really. You know, things are going to be different. So it's not like the private school that we experience at home that we're used to, but it's also way less expensive. I'm holding tight to my phone. Again, girl, saying girl, like I'm talking to my friend. Well, his brother's walking by. You know, people look friendly enough. I don't want to assume that people are going to steal my stuff, but you know, they do. So I realize I'm talking in half sentences here about phones and schools and everything. Yes, Las Arenas has international school. I mean, has private schools. Okay, I think my son is at the best school. Santo Domingo has a bunch of really, really good private schools. There's lots of other cities in this country that also have really good private schools, like Santiago, like Sosua, like Punta Cana has a number of very good schools. I came here a couple of years ago on like a mission, basically, an excursion to recruit students, high school students, for a community college district in California. And so I saw, like, I don't know about all, but most of the top schools in this country. And, you know, as I said, if we move to Santo Domingo, I already know where I wanted to go. We did the visit, it's great, you know. And I think what's nice about that is that even if your kid's at a private school in the U.S., they're not getting that same international experience. They're not having the benefit of going to school with kids from lots of different cultures and things like that. So I would love for him to come here to go to this school, but that's about it. There's nothing else about Santo Domingo that I find compelling. It's just big and busy and full of traffic, and you it's a headache. It's a stress headache. And I love not having that where I live. Now, the flip side is that there's no movie theaters in Las Terrenas. There's not, I mean, there's like a local culture, but there's not, museums and different things like that. I mean, how often am I going to a museum though? It is like the Matrix, right? It's the same old crap, same old stuff, and I'm not really feeling that. If I get to the point where I don't have to worry about going any place on any given day, that's cool. And fortunately, for the kind of business I have, I don't really have to get up and, punch a clock and be any place at any time. There's a possibility about teaching a class here, maybe one of these entertainment classes, and that's not super stressful. That's, a couple days a week for a couple hours maybe. But again, I think distance always looks better. When I'm like close up, I see all, how you're really critical of yourself anyway. So yeah, I'm not really thrilled about living in Santo Domingo. I don't know if you guys have been here, but this is pretty much what it's like. It's a big, busy city. So let me walk back around the corner. What do I do to make money? Oh, I'm a lawyer. I'm an entertainment lawyer. And so that's the thing about my career is that it is not a regular, yes, I'm from the States, I'm from California. I'm licensed in Georgia, California, and Maryland, although I'm inactive in Georgia and Maryland. Now you know all about me. So that kind of job doesn't, it's not like I get a paycheck every 2 weeks or every month even. It's very dependent upon the work I do on projects or something. And so there are times when I'm like, oh my gosh. That's probably why you guys hear me talking a lot about getting money and you can have it because, sometimes I get worried about, my stuff comes in chunks. And so, trying to make it into a regular thing is a little more challenging than if you have a regular job. On the flip side, I have a ton of freedom and autonomy, and I love what I do. So that's why I'm here. I'm going back now to the film commission. What is the tuition for the school I'm looking at? Okay, so let me give you an example. The school that my son was at in California was an IB school, meaning International Baccalaureate. That's like the top. Nobody's driving backwards. Oh, maybe he was. I don't know. He might have been backing up. International Baccalaureate is one of the top curriculums recognized around the world. Excellent. I just found out from a friend, my son will be, he's finishing third grade now, the tuition for next year at that school in California. Now it's a Spanish immersion school, and in third grade they start Mandarin and all those bells and whistles, and it's a fancy school. Next year the tuition for fourth grade, let me let him go by so you can hear me correctly, will be $30,000. That's $30,000. He's 9, okay? A school that I would say is on par, if not better, the one we went to visit the other day here, the tuition's $14,000 a year. Now that's high. That's still very high. And I don't know, I didn't ask about like scholarships and financial aid. My guess is that they do offer that. But still, that's half the price for an education that's at least as good. And I love the school. So, and that's just me being fancy because I want my son to have that kind of education. There's plenty of schools you can go to here for way less than that. Where he is now in Las Terrenas it's like $200 something a month, right? For a fancy private school there and in a little beach town. And again, that's fancy. And this is because I'm a big believer in excellent education. I do value private education, especially in this country where public education is it's known for not being great. I'm just willing to pay the difference and give my son that incredible boost. So for example, at the school I went to the other day, stay in the beach town, I know, I feel that way too, because it just feels like no vale la pena estar aquí, right? I don't know if it's worth it. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I'm not feeling it, to be perfectly honest with you. I could see commuting back and forth a little bit and doing some work here. Of course, I wouldn't work for my son because I can't just leave him here. But I think for at least another year or so, I'm going to stick with the French school where we are, let him learn, like really get good at French. And, he's already speaking some French. He was mad at me at the beginning of the year. Why are you making me learn another language? And now he's like, qu'est-ce que tu fais, maman? Right? He's speaking to me in French, which is cool. So guess what, you guys? Travel Noir. You know that online magazine, Travel Noir? They did a feature on me and my son like a week ago. the Black expat mom, which is really cool. So I don't know. I mean, and as a result of that, someone from the government here wants to do Alejandra. Ah, yeah, my appointment is here. I gotta go. Check out Travel Noir. I'll tell you more about it later.